Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and this is part 2 of this making this harbor map. So the first thing I would want to do from here, I've still got my nudge factor set pretty high to get it out of the way. I'm going to lock this map. Just go up to Object and lock it. That way, when you touch anything, you will not grab the map. And then you would just go through here and critique the map, and like it evidently missed this island right here, so pretty easy to draw that. Freehand tool, I'm not very good at it, but you've got to remember it's pretty small, and just move your mouse pretty close. It's not that crucial. And there you have that island. We'll draw this other island. I'm not going to draw them all. Go back to the freehand tool. I always find it easier to draw from the top down and then come back up. And as you can see, I'm not taking a lot of time. But you want to make sure it's complete. Now, what I would do after I do something like that, I would look at my joint, and my joint's pretty rough. I would move it up there, and so when if you're doing this for a plasma cutter, you want a good clean cut, and I did a little better job on this one. And then you could always take the smooth tool, set it pretty low on your rate of speed. That's still a pretty big circle. Let's knock it down to there. And then I would just kind of smooth it out a little bit. You don't need to smooth it too much. Then the next thing we probably need to do before we draw our roads and the bridges is to figure out how big we want to, and I would do that all over the map. It did a pretty good job at tracing, but you do not want this sharp corner right there. You want a kind of a good flow for the plasma or for the laser to cut around. And then you've got to go around the whole thing, and like that's bad. So take your shape tool, and I'm just going to select those two nodes, and I'm going to delete them. And then I'm going to select these two nodes, and I'm going to right click and turn them into a line. What that did, it kind of made it better. Take the smoothing tool, round that off. Now, because my smoothing tool is so big that you're going to get, more than one side. So if you get it smaller, now the smaller you get it, the less it's going to do. But in this case, it's pretty good. Now, the next thing we probably need to do before we start doing any roads, and there's some other parts that we need to fill in and make this right here. I would figure out what size you want to make it. And as you can see, we can't grab our map because it's locked. So let's go up to Object and unlock. This map is only 1.66. I'm going to probably make it 11 by 14. And depending on how much of this I want to cut off and how much of the water I want to cut off, I'm going to, with my ratio locked, I'm going to make this 11. You know what? I'm not. I'm going to make this 14. My numerals button was locked. So now it is 14 by 14. I need to get my, now we need to change our nudge factor to like 15 inches. We need to nudge this out of the way, and we need to grab this and make this. With this locked, we need to make this 14. No, take it back. Let's back up here before we do any of that. Let's group this together. That's what we should have done, or I should have done. Control G and group it together. Then make this 14. And as you can see, it now made everything 14. Now you can see that we're at 14 by 14. And this is probably where I would go ahead and make it. Let's do this. Let's group it. It should be grouped together, so let's go Control P. Let's make 11 by 14 rectangle. So now we have with this unlocked, 11 by 14. And let's hit P. Then you just need to determine how much of the land you want, how much of the water you want. We definitely need this. So I'm going to take my nudge distance and change it to like 0.2 and grab my rectangle and go. I think that would look good if we do the whole thing. So you can always take see where rectangles are really off the map, so we can take that and just move it over. So that's what I would do first, because now we have 11 by 14, and we have a couple other things we need to do thinking about the frame, because we're going to need to put some wood around this frame, but that might be the next video. So now I'm going to set my nudge factor back on. We're 11, so I can set it on 12, and we're going to grab our rectangle and we'll move it over. Well, as a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and do this. Let's, it doesn't matter that it's off the map. We don't have to worry about this water that's out here because we're not going to use it. It's just going to be a print. So now you can look at things like this bridge down here. This has to be quite a bit wider. Those two lines are touching. So take your shape tool instead of your smoothing tool. Now we've got everything grouped together, so I need to check on it, select it. I need to select it all. Because we grouped it together, we have to ungroup it to use the shape tool. Let's zoom back in and let's zoom in quite a bit and see where those two lines are touching. And also I want to, for a second, I'm going to take the rectangle out of the way. That's really what I wanted to do a while ago, because it's going to interfere with us grabbing stuff. And I'm going to change all this now back to a hairline, because we should have scaled it with object. So now you can see, and I also was using somebody else's, when somebody sends me a file, sometimes it doesn't work. I get all their settings. Let's take the parallel dimension tool. See, that's only 4 1/1000ths of an inch, or 4 100ths of an inch. We need at least 0.25 between there, because we need to, we're going to engrave a road. So let's grab the shape tool, grab all these nodes, holding down the shift key and grabbing this node, and then we can move it out of the way. And we'll do the same thing here. Grab that node, hold down the shift key, grab that node, and move this out of the way. Looks pretty good. Let's take the parallel dimension tool. We're only at 0.57. That's gonna, or 0.07. You'd really have to kind of test it on your laser, because we really need to engrave a road through there. I believe there's probably a road through there. And then you have parts like this where it actually went around this name. And that's what's so nice about having a map here. You can see it. So I'm going to select all these nodes, and I'm going to hit delete. And then you'll take these two nodes, right click, and turn it into a line. Even though I don't want a straight line, that kind of closes that area. Grab our smooth tool. Now we can make it quite a bit bigger because our map is quite a bit bigger now. And you can see it actually reacts faster. And before you do too much smoothing, you need to go around And this is where your pan tool will help you. So you could hit the letter H and pan stuff around, and then keep it on the Z key for zoom, so you can zoom around. So we have two more nodes here, or an object here. Just select all that and hit delete. Select these two and right click and hit line. And then you can go back to the smoothing tool and kind of smooth that out. So you need to hit the H key and you get the pan key. And this is evidently a road that it engraved. I'm going to hit the Z key. So it brought into this road. We don't want that road to be there on the hairline map. So there is going to be quite a bit of cleanup here, but it's not too bad. This is a lot easier than trying to trace a map itself. So we're going to grab the shape tool and we're just going to start deleting some nodes and try to delete all these. Try to start at the end and you'll see what happens when it starts popping up. You'll get all these funny looking lines. And also you can always use the virtual segment delete key to delete that line, and let's see what happens when we delete that line. It did good. Now at some point you might, accidentally was still on there. Zoom in here and we've kind of made a boo-boo right here, but we're deleting it. And in that fast, I got rid of that road on that island. There's still a little bit of a outline of the road here, but that's easily fixed. And you can take the shape tool. I'm just gonna, you can always back up. I'm just gonna hit delete. Hit delete. Now I broke the curve apart, but that's not a problem because all you have to do is come and join it. And later on, I'm gonna show you how to make sure everything's good and sealed. We've got the same thing on this island. We've got a road that we don't want a road, and I'm not gonna take your time to do that. That would probably be easily, well, I'm going to do it for this one because this is how I would fix this one, is to bring that part into your item, take your virtual segment delete key and delete that. And see, now you got this island. Now you definitely have to delete this right here. And I'm going to show you in the next video how to go through there and make sure everything is sealed. And because you don't want your cut lines to be, and actually we probably need to make this solid. So what you do here is just take your shape tool. You know, this takes some work, but maps are they're really big sellers. Now, when I'm doing that, I'm bringing this line in so you can always grab and like that and see what we've done. We've created that. Now I've got a virtual segment delete key this out. And before I go too much further, I'm going to let you have a little break from this, and we're going to finish this part of the islands up and then take it from there. Hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.